Are you a creator, creatress, but you're feeling very stuck right now? Like maybe you have all these ideas that you want to do, or maybe you're already a creator, but you're kind of just feeling in that little bit of a rut. Then this video is for you. Hi, my name is Elise. Welcome if you are new here, and if you're not and you're returning, then welcome back home. I am so grateful to have you here. The message coming through for today, for you specifically, and I'm manifesting this reaches the right people that need to hear it on this day, whatever day it is that you're listening to. You are a creator and you are a part of God. You're a reflection of God, universe, source, spirit, whatever it is that you resonate calling it. With that, you have to understand it comes with all phases of life. It comes with all aspects. It comes with all perceptions. It comes with all experiences. Being a creator, being creative, and putting your creative power and energy into things is not going to be a 24/7 thing. You're not going to be able to constantly create. So if you're feeling like you're a little bit stuck right now, if you're feeling like you're in a little bit of a rut, a little bit of a creative block, I just want you to know that that is okay. That is completely okay. And it is okay to acknowledge where you are and to come to terms with that. One of my beautiful favorite examples is always reminding ourselves of a seed, right? We want to plant this tomato tree. But what do we start off with? We start off with a seed. We put it in the dark soil and we let it sit there for a long time. We give it the right environment and we allow it to just thrive as a seed. And only in that space where we truly allow that seed to be a seed and give the environment of a seed that it needs, then it will flourish into a seedling. See, sometimes we may not always see that growth. That seed might take weeks to germinate, and it might seem like it's going slow or it's stuck or it's not working. But remember that that is a part of that process. Growth is always happening, but it's always slow, and it might not be appearing in the way that you may want it to. When we see a tree grow, you don't just look at it the next day and it's gone from, a little bush to a giant tree. It takes time for it to grow. You may not even realize, and one day you'll just look at the tree and be like, wow, you got really big. I remember when you were small, because we're not sitting there focusing on every little centimeter of growth of the tree. And it's the same thing with us, except for us, we focus so much on the growth and the visual results of a growth. We want to see results. We want to see the growth happening right now. And that's just not always the case. A lot of the time, and you may resonate with this when you've gone through a growth period, it's not in the moments that you realize the growth, it's usually a lot after. So if you've gone through a breakup, as an example, you may not realize during the heartbreak that you're growing, but one day, months later, whatever time it is later, weeks later, you just look back and you're like, wow, I really grew through that. I really went through that and I became a better, stronger version of myself. It's just that random moment that comes to you where you go, oh, wow, I'm actually over this. Or, wow, I've come so far. Whatever it is, you don't necessarily always recognize a growth within yourself while you're going through the growth. This is why it's time for you right now to learn to have that patience, that love and understanding for yourself being a reflection of nature, and that growth takes time. Sometimes we need that time to be doing nothing. We need that time to rest, to rejuvenate, to literally re-energize ourselves, because we can't be creating 24/7. We can't always be putting in that energy into creation. We need that balance. We need to understand the cycles. We need to understand the flows. And the more accepting you are of the flows, the better your life will be, because you'll understand. You'll understand that it's just a part of a flow. You're not going to start judging yourself and hating yourself and criticizing yourself of, why am I not being creative? Why am I not being productive? Why am I not doing all this? Which, by the way, is also just a side product of capitalism and making us feel like we have to be productive. But anyway, that's just another thing that can shape our reality and shape our perception of ourselves and why we criticize ourselves, because we feel like we're not being productive and we feel like we should be creating and we have all these ideas and we need to be doing things. And don't get me wrong, it is important to put forth action. If you want to get your desires, you do have to put forth action. Manifesting is not all about just laying back and being like, oh, universe, I want to be a successful artist, full-time artist. But you've got to create to be an artist. You've got to put yourself out there to be an artist. You have to, take photos of your work. You've got to have a website. You've got to have a platform to sell it on, whatever it is, right? You can't just lay back and wish for things to happen. You do have to put action, and that is important. But it's also really important to understand when action is required and when rest is required. So if you have been down on yourself for not doing what you want to do, you haven't accomplished what you wanted to do yet, we're halfway through the year and a lot of people are realizing that they haven't done their 2026 yearly goals yet, and they're not even working towards it, or they haven't even started. And I just want to tell you, it is not too late to start now. It's never too late to start. It doesn't matter about the time. It doesn't matter about the month. It doesn't matter about a Monday or not. It doesn't matter. It matters that you want to start now and that you put in the action when it is required. But with that action, you need to have that balance. So when you're in that period of rest, you have to understand, you have to let go, you have to surrender. You have to accept the fact that you just don't necessarily feel like creating. I mean, I'm an artist and I'm not always painting every single day. There's periods of times where I paint every single day for a few weeks, and then I might not pick up a paintbrush for even a month. There's no rules. It's all about listening to your own inner divine guidance. And I truly believe that everyone's is completely different. And that's why we all have to learn to listen to ourselves. With that, I truly believe that that's how everybody reaches their potential. That's how everybody manifests whatever it is that they want to. It's by listening to your own inner divine guidance. It's not about comparing yourself to other people and what they're doing and how productive they are and how much they're doing. It's about you listening to you, figuring out what feels good for you to do. Because creativity should come from our drive, our passion, it can be love, it can be all types of emotions, but our creativity, it needs to come from a place of flow, that you actually want to create, that you feel like creating, because that always shows up in whatever it is that you're creating, right? If you're listening to music, you can always tell when the artist was feeling something when they were writing it, because it impacts the way that you feel. And it doesn't have to be music or art or whatever it is, any form of creativity. It's about you putting in that energy, that essence, your own individual essence and divinity into whatever it is that you're creating. And that only comes out of divine guidance, out of you allowing yourself to listen to who it is that you truly want to be, what it is that you truly want to do, allowing yourself to go through the flows of life, allowing yourself to feel the rest, to feel the rut, to feel the emotions that come up when you're in that state of being, and then to feel the emotions when you're feeling creative and flowy and, you want to put in that energy out. Because accepting and understanding these flows are only going to allow you to move through the flows as you're supposed to. Because if we become resistant to it, start to judge it, start to criticize it. Oh, why am I not creating? Why don't I feel like creating? Oh, but I have to create. I'm an artist. This is my job. I have to do this. You're taking away from your own divine essence, your true alignment to yourself, to your higher self, to source, to God, to the universe, spirit, whatever it is that you want to call it. You're misplacing your alignment when you force things to happen. And the hardest thing is, because we compare ourselves, we think that, we're not doing good enough. We're not doing it fast enough. We're not doing enough. But again, this is why I say take it back to listening to your own divine guidance, your own divine timing. Truly trusting in yourself and the higher power in what it is that is meant to come from your life. Whatever it is that you're meant to be creating, to trust that it is going to be created in the divine timing. When it is that you allow yourself to align with the divine so that you can create when it feels right for you. Because we're not robots, we're not machines, we're human beings. We have an array of emotions. We have so many things that impact us, okay? Just our lives, the people around us, our jobs, the planets, everything. Like there's so many things that impact us as humans, that impact our mood, our emotions, everything. So we have to learn to go with that flow. There's going to be periods of times of sadness and grief, and then there's going to be periods of times of joy and happiness, and there's going to be all kind of things because we're human. We're not robots. We're not machines. We can't constantly create. You can't constantly push your energy out without grounding, without rejuvenating yourself, because you're not a machine, you're a human. You need to understand the flows of life, the times that you do need a rest, because it helps you create. When you rejuvenate your energy, you do things for you, right? Whatever it is, you take some quality time with yourself, you take a bath, you relax, you do things that you enjoy, you go out dancing. These are all things that are going to only spark your creativity anyway, because you're rejuvenating your energy, you're rejuvenating your soul. And a lot of the time, creativity comes from experience. Most of the great artists that you listen to, their songs come from heartbreaks and grief and joy and love. It comes from experience. So the more we allow ourselves to be human, to experience life, to go with the flows, to get our heart broken, to grieve, to go on holiday, to dance, to do this and to do that, the more it's going to only spark our creativity, because we're satisfying our soul. We're fulfilling our soul. We're rejuvenating our soul. And from there comes the most beautiful creations from humans, because from there, we're truly living in alignment to ourselves. We're truly divine. We're truly one with all. We're truly in flow, and allowing ourselves to just be and to just surrender and allow yourself to just create, to just be free. Because a lot of the time, people who are creative, it's not about a thinking, it's about a feeling. You're not necessarily always sitting there thinking about all the little tiny things when you're creating a song. Of course, that sometimes needs to come into play when you need to work out how everything works and what you want to play. But a lot of the times it's a feeling, the feeling that you're trying to express, the feeling that I'm trying to express into my art. It's not about me sitting down and trying to plan out a piece of art that I'm doing. It's about the feeling that I express in that art. So beautiful souls, please allow yourself to rest. And please be kind to yourself when you are feeling like you're in a bit of a block or a rut, or just don't necessarily feel like creating or being productive. Be kind to yourself. Allow that space. In fact, actually, try to enjoy it. And I know that can be really hard, but enjoy it. Let yourself enjoy being the little seed in the ground, in the soil, in the darkness, in stillness. And allow yourself to be the flower that it comes and blooms from that tree one day and creates so much joy in the world. You have to allow yourself to be at all phases in all of your cycles, because that's life. That's who we are. We're human, and you are a beautiful human, unique, and you have your own essence, your own gift. Everyone is unique and has their own expression that they create and put out into the world in their own way. And it is needed and it is wanted, especially in a time like today with so much going on in the world. Your creativity is needed. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Blessings.